My story is called "I Only Drank at Home Alone Once, and I Loved It."
I like it.
Okay, I've had the laughs. I'll go now. Okay. Eric Christensen is my husband, and he and I were skiing quite a lot in the early 70s. And we had a little kid, a little boy named Doug, and he was born in '69, and we took him with us many places that we went. Eric had become a teacher in a high school in Yorktown, called Yorktown High School in Arlington, Virginia. And while he was there teaching English, he became the sponsor of the ski club. Well, New Year's Eve, not too long off, was there was a 3-4 day weekend. It wasn't 4, but it was enough for us to take a whole day just to get up there. We were a full big bus of students and 2 other chaperones and Doug. So we got there, we tried skiing a little bit. It wasn't great, but it was all right. But the important thing here was that we had put a little pressure on the president of the ski club, one of the kids, because we'd been on trips with kids before, and we knew that sometimes things got a little difficult for the sponsors and the other adults if the kids had some booze with them. And we really wanted to have a quiet time, have a good time. We got all that way to ski and have a good time. So we spoke to the young man, and he agreed, reluctantly, but he agreed that he would not bring booze and that he would tell the kids in the class, in the club, not to bring booze. And we said, we won't either, and we didn't. So, much to our chagrin, on New Year's Eve, around midnight, suddenly doors were slamming, and there were shrieks and hollering, and it was awful, and I was so ticked off. Doug was sleeping like a log, and so was Eric. I was not, because I was feeling responsible for having the kids kind of under our wing, and it was a hotel act. But the next morning, it was a beautiful day. Finally, we had some real snow. It had snowed all night, and it was just gorgeous. The sun was shining, the sky was blue, and we were hot to get out there. So we put Doug in the nursery, we got our skis out, and we took off. Eric and I both went to the blue slopes, that is the intermediate slopes, but he likes to ski faster than I do, and I was determined to ski at my own speed, thank you very much. So we went different directions and didn't see each other all morning. So I was flying along, and one of the kids stopped me and said, Mrs. C, stop. And I said, why? I don't want to. And she said, well, your husband's broken his leg. Yeah. So he was not even there anymore, because they had been looking for me for quite a while. There was a lot of slope out there, and he was long gone. They took him to the local hospital in Farmington, Maine, and I don't know what time he got there, but he was well into the process of the surgery where they were putting his leg back together. Well, just setting it, really. It wasn't terrible, but it was bad. So when I got there, after having gone to our hotel room and picked up our stuff and then gathered Doug out of the nursery, we tooled off in a taxi and got there and saw that Eric was sound asleep, naturally. And, well, he'd been given some help, I think some sedation, because he would have been in considerable pain at that point. But Doug and I were there, and there was nothing at all to do. There were no children, no anything, no books, no games. There was Mommy. So after a very aggressive, for me, skiing morning, I was pretty worn out, and by the time the afternoon had gotten by, and thank God, finally it had, it was getting on to be close to evening, and Doug was worn out, finally. So he wanted to go to sleep, and I thought, you know, here we are in this room, and there's no place for us to sleep. So a nurse said, well, go down to the lounge down there, and you can get some cushions and some pillows, and nobody's going to come in there tonight. Okay, so I went and dragged some cushions and some pillows down, and Doug was fond asleep. Here came the surgeon, and he was doing his last round and checking on Eric, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he said, how are you doing? And I said, fine. I'm okay. I'm just really quite tired and a little stressed and all. And I said, do you know if there's any place around here that I could walk to where I could buy a beer? And he said, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't really think I do. I know I don't know. I can call my son at the house, but I don't know. I don't think so. So I said, okay, thank you. And I started to pull in a cushion and lie down on it, and he came back, and he had in his hand some keys, and he had a piece of paper, and he said, here, I want you to take these keys, take this piece of paper, my car is downstairs in the parking lot, and I want you to go there, get in it, follow the directions on that paper, and go to my house. Okay. I was a little concerned about that. I went. It was dark. It was not fun to get there, but I got there, and I went around to the back as he had told me to do, and to knock on the door. And I knocked on the door kind of tentatively, and suddenly a hairy arm stuck out, and in it was a beer. Yeah. That was the best beer I ever had.